Hey guys, today we're going to talk about all things lockers at the Universal Orlando Resort. If you're new here, on this channel we talk about all things theme parks, including news, updates, and tips for your next theme park vacation. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
So Universal has a few different locker options, and the first ones you come across are actually just left as you enter the park. And those are your all-day lockers. It's $10 for a large locker and $15 for your family lockers.
These are really convenient if you have like a diaper bag or maybe a backpack with some medication that you're gonna need at some point, but you don't wanna have to lug it around all day.
Yeah, like so if you have a heavy bag
Yeah.
that is just going to be a burden, especially on a hot day or whatever, and you just don't want to carry it. Like we could do this with our camera bag, but there's just times that we need lenses or whatever. But say you have something that just has items that you may need once or twice throughout the day. This is a great option.
It's so nice of Universal to provide this safe place to keep your belongings, and at $10 to $15 a day, it's really not that bad of a deal.
And the way that you're going to access these lockers is the same way you're going to access all the lockers in today's video, and that is with like an annual pass, a park ticket. You can use a room key if you're staying on site. And that's how you're also going to re-access them throughout the day. So make sure you don't lock up whatever you use to gain access to your locker in the locker, because then you'll have to get a team member to come and help you get everything out. And it's just a hassle that you don't want to have to deal with. So now we are going to head on into studios. We're actually going to walk all the way back to Men in Black because we want to ride it. And while we're there, we will show you the lockers that we use most often, which is the ride lockers. So as we're walking over to the ride lockers, we were talking about it. We really thought, we've never used those all-day lockers. We really thought they'd be way more expensive.
Yes.
Like we were thinking $25, $30 for the day. So with them only being $10 or $15, that's really not that bad.
Yeah, I was absolutely shocked that the prices were that low. And this could be one of those things, if you're not staying on site, if you want to like purchase all of your merchandise first thing in the morning, so you make sure
and
that you get what you want, and then you could put it in one of those lockers instead of having to lug it around all day.
Yeah, that's actually like a really good idea, because if you haven't been staying on site, some of these lockers aren't that accommodating for these larger items that you can purchase. Like, I can't imagine trying to stuff a robe and a wand into one of these small ride lockers that you'll see here in a minute. But it can be done. But to keep things like nice and pristine, like I like them, I think I'd like to have one of the bigger lockers.
Okay. It went off. I don't know.
The majority of rides at Universal do have lockers, but there are some of them like Spider-Man and Transformers where you can take your belongings on them, as well as most of the kids' rides. But for the rides that do have lockers, there are two different sizes. The smaller lockers are free to use, so if you can fit all of your stuff in the small lockers, you do not have to pay to put your belongings up.
Correct.
But if your stuff won't fit into those lockers, there are some larger lockers that you can pay for at these rides.
Oh, and just a quick side note, we'll just put like the dimensions of the free lockers in the description down below. So to rent one of the free lockers, all you do is, like we talked about earlier, you scan one of your passes, like your annual pass, your daily ticket, that room key, whatever. Just make sure you use the same one when you're wanting to re-access the locker. Keep in mind, those are good for the duration of your ride. However, if you leave your stuff in there for too long, they will start charging you. I can't remember, it's like a $20 max for the day.
Right.
But they will start charging you if you try to leave your stuff in a locker for too long. So a little tip from us, something we have found about the large lockers is you typically don't need them. Like, we have 3 bags, so you would assume we might need a large locker to ride into the rides. And what we do is we just rent multiple lockers. Like, we each have an annual pass, so we can each get a locker that way. We have a room key because we always stay on site, so we can get up to 4 lockers with just those 4 passes, so we can just break our stuff up. And if you can do that, that's another way you can save some money. Like, if you have a very large bag but you can pull some contents out of it and make that bag fit, that's exactly what we would try to do.
Another little tip is, if you have to do that and you have several things, instead of having like 4 or 5 people go to the lockers, just give all of your passes and all of your bags to one person to try to keep the crowds down in the locker area.
It does get really hectic back there. So we just finished riding Men in Black, and as always, who was the victor? We rode it twice.
You.
So you got to lose twice.
You, but only, like, really the only reason that you beat me is that both times you got the 100,000 point bonus and I didn't.
I just wanted her to feel like she had a fighting chance. But seriously, we got off the ride and got our stuff out of our locker, and we went ahead and filled up our Coke Freestyle Cup, which brings us to another tip about the lockers.
If you have a Coca-Cola Freestyle Cup and you have something to drink in
some
it,
of the liquid,
when you're wanting to go on a ride, there are several rides like Gringotts, Mummy, and the Velocicoaster that have a sink that is specially for the drinks.
Yeah, you just dump your ice, dump whatever liquid you've got left in them, do whatever you need to do, and that way you can put it into your locker safely without worrying about your items or your bag getting whatever you are drinking on them. So we got over here in some shade to talk about the last type of lockers that you can get here at Universal Orlando, and that is lockers for the water rides.
So the 3 water rides that we're talking about are all in Islands of Adventure, and that's going to be River Adventure, Ripsaw Falls, and Popeyes and Bluto's. So these rides do not have free lockers. And the reason that they don't have free lockers is because you can take your items on the rides with you. There is just the risk that they might get wet.
Yes, we've taken some things before we had like the camera gear and everything onto like River Adventure, and we just don't necessarily recommend it. If it's something that you don't want to get wet, it's probably going to get wet.
Absolutely. So if you do want to purchase those lockers, it is $4 for the posted wait time. And then if you leave it in there longer than that, it's an additional $3 per 30 minutes, up to $20 per day.
So there it is, guys. That's all the information that we can give you on the lockers here at Universal Orlando Resort. If you have any more questions, please leave us a comment down below and let us know. Like, if there's something we didn't answer in this video, we'd be happy to help.
If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. You can hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell notification so you get an alert every time we post a new video.
Thanks for watching.